But like most of the times, we've had instances where we've had a pay rise and it sounded like big money, only for us to get the pay slip and think,
Wow.
what was
Is
that?
that
Like,
it? Hi guys, welcome back to another finance discussion with Skilled Financiers. My name is Lindy and this is Tando. This is definitely the place to be if you want to learn ways of leveling up your financial knowledge, in particular with a focus on couples finances. If you're joining us for the first time, we're so excited to have you here with us, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you follow us on our socials, that's at Skilled Finances. And if you love listening to podcasts, you can find us on podcasting platforms, that's at Skilled Finances as well.
yes, and today we have an exciting conversation.
Yeah.
I think we say that every time, but genuinely speaking, I think every time we have a conversation about money, we have an exciting time. And so what we want to talk today to you about is the things that you should think about doing when you get a pay rise.
Right.
Now, the thing about it is that, it's the new tax year right now in April. Some people may have a little bit bump in their pay, but other people may have started new jobs and gotten quite a significant pay rise from the jobs that they had previously. But these are things that we typically do when we get a pay rise of any amount, by the way. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter how much it is. It's just the things that we start to do when we actually get a pay rise. There's so much focus sometimes on kind of what to do with the money you have that sometimes when you get a pay rise, it's kind of like, well, what do I do with this extra money that
Yeah,
I'm now earning?
exactly.
So that's what we're going to dive into today, really. The 5 things that we do and, you could also consider doing as well when you get your pay rise.
So what would you say is the first thing or one of the things that people can do when they get a pay rise, or once they know, like, okay, I've now got a new job, I'm starting in 3 months' time or 2 months' time? What is one thing that you'd say they should get themselves ready?
So for me, the first thing to do is obviously to understand and calculate
Yeah.
how much your new pay will be, especially after tax and after everything is
Yeah.
deducted. So when you get a pay rise, usually they tell you how much your pay has increased from a salary perspective.
Yeah.
Or when you get a new job, you think, oh, now I'm earning this much per year. And that's kind of usually the gauge that we use to calculate the pay rise. So for
Right.
example, you might go from 20,000 to 30,000 or from 40,000 to 65,000 or whatever the case is. And that's kind of like we think about it. Oh yeah, I've got a £10,000 pay
Yeah.
rise. I've got a £25,000 pay rise. I've got a £2,000 pay rise, and it's like it sounds big when you say it from an annual perspective.
Yeah.
But like most of the times, we've had instances where we've had a pay rise and it sounded like big money, only for us to get the pay slip and think,
Wow.
what was
Is
that?
that
Like
it?
literally after tax and after
Yeah.
deductions, this is nothing. So for me, I would say take time to calculate, okay, this is your new pay, this is your new salary. But before you get too excited, or before you kind of get the wrong idea of how much your
Yeah.
pay rise really is, calculate exactly how much that really is. You can go to many online websites that you can go to. If you just type in salary calculator on Google, I'm sure you find plenty of them.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of you typing in, okay, your new salary, and then figuring out what the impact of tax, national insurance, student loan deductions, pension contributions, and any other things that come out of your salary automatically, to then figure out, okay, after everything's gone out, how much am I really getting paid more with my new salary?
Absolutely. And I feel like those salary calculators are a great way to manage your expectations. Because, like you said, it's very easy to look at, like if you go up in fives, right? So if you're at 20 and you go up to 25, you're looking at it like that's 5K. That's quite a lot of money. It's not a small money. But then obviously once you've done the tax, you've done the pensions, you've done student loans and stuff, that actually doesn't seem like a lot of money. It could be like an extra £200, give or take, which, yes, in the grand scheme of things, at least it's something.
Sure.
But when you're then hearing from 20 to 25, you're thinking, oh, maybe it'll be a lot more than that. So it's a great way to really manage your expectations.
Yeah, and so I guess in a realistic perspective, it's one thing to do calculations online, but all of them are, I guess, kind of best guesses, good
Yeah.
ideas, but they won't be to the penny accurate. So what we also do is actually wait 1 or 2 months from our new pay just to see how things are.
Absolutely.
Usually your first paycheck is kind of never really accurate because it might be slightly less or slightly more than what you would normally get moving
Or you
forward.
could get emergency tax.
You can get emergency
especially
tax,
if it's
yeah.
a new job. Yeah.
That's right. So that first paycheck is not going to be accurate all the time. Most of the time it won't be. So we wait until the second paycheck. But sometimes the second one is then rebalancing the errors from the first one, so you got to wait for
Yeah.
the third one to then actually be like, oh, okay, so this is what my new pay will really be moving forward. And so sometimes that's something that we would have to do. Now we did some calculations earlier on, just kind of put some numbers into
Yeah.
this. So if you go from a £30,000 salary,
Yeah.
£30,000 salary is around 1,900 a month, somewhere there. Again, this is rough figures here. We're just putting into account sort of basic tax and national insurance, and putting 5% towards your pension contributions, and you have a student loan plan too that you're paying for. So with those calculations, it came out to about 1,900 per month.
Yeah.
Going up by £10,000 to 40,000 a year sounds like a big jump.
Yeah.
And it actually is a
It
big
is
jump.
a
Let's
big
not lie.
jump,
That's a
yeah.
huge jump. But then when you look at it from a monthly perspective, using the same calculations of national insurance,
Student loan.
student loan,
Yeah.
tax, and pension contributions, that goes up to around 2,300 a month. So that's actually an extra £400
Yeah.
a month. Now, £400 a month is actually quite a big jump
Yeah.
from a monthly pay perspective. But for some people, they might be thinking, oh wait, like I thought 10,000 was going to be a really like double my salary or something. I don't
you
know.
were going to be getting a lot
Gonna
more
get a lot
than
more.
what you're getting. So yeah.
But you're thinking 1,900, 2,300. That doesn't quite put me in as much of a big jump as I probably
Yeah.
thought it could do. At least for some people. Some people it might do, and it might be like, this is the breathing room you've always needed, and it will actually make a huge impact. So, but it's just to give you this context of, first thing you should do is calculate what your new tax pay would be with your new pay, but then, wait 1 month, 2 months, or even 3 months until you see what your new pay could be. What's the second thing that you would say people should consider when the pay rise?
I definitely think it's important for you to think about paying yourself first.
Right.
Now, when we say pay yourself first, we don't mean, okay, take the money and go spend it, like literally pay yourself, go and enjoy the money type of thing. But we're saying pay yourself and think about your future. So in a way, like think about maximizing your pension contributions, for example, or even planning how much you will save based on the new salary. And the reason why it's so important to do that is because you've had that increase in salary. Why not think about your future? Why not think about the pension and the savings first, right? Why not think about maximizing those and paying more into them before focusing on everything else? Because at the end of the day, the future you will thank you for that, what you're doing now.
Yeah, and the thing about pension, I mean, your pension might just automatically be the same if you've had a promotion,
Right.
and the pension options are still the same because they're still in the same company.
Yeah.
So, for example, if you've maxed out your pension contributions at, I don't know, 5% or 8% or whatever the percentage point is from your employer, and you get a promotion, chances are it's the same the same pension that you're part of, so your pension contributions are still going to be maxed out. But if you have joined a new company, it's then potentially thinking about that, right? To say, okay, even if it means you're paying more with your new company, it's that still paying yourself first, right? And putting money towards your future before you spend it. Now, going back to the previous example that we mentioned, going from 30,000 to 40,000, that's around £400 extra a month. On the other side is then thinking to yourself, well, with this extra 400, how much am I going to be saving and putting aside to my savings or my investments or my pension, my private pension, if you do private pension, or any other saving or investments that you do? How much am I going to put aside from that 400? And that's what we really mean by pay yourself first. You've got this £400 extra, or however much extra it is for you. It's the thinking cap is, before I think about like all the things I've been wanting to do that I haven't been able to do, or all the things that I can now afford that I couldn't afford before, let me think about how much am I putting aside from this new pay.
Yeah. And I guess linking it to the next one actually, which is celebrating your achievement, right? I think it's important to realize that, yes, I've got this pay rise. Yes, I can save more into the pension and I can save some more money and, like things like that. But sometimes I think we take it to think, okay, so now that I've done that, I can't enjoy myself at all. All I have to focus on is the pension and all of that. But that's not what we're saying. What we are saying is, yes, you can enjoy yourself, But if you're going to increase your enjoyment money, also think about increasing your pension, also think about increasing your savings, also think about increasing your investments. Have some sort of balance. Yes, celebrate your achievement because you've worked hard. For you to even get the promotion or get the new job, you've worked hard. But find a balance. Don't just focus on the one. So don't focus too much on enjoyment and then neglect like maybe increasing your savings and your investments. But also on the other hand, try and find a balance, because maybe if you focus too much on the saving and the investments, you sometimes get to a point where maybe you resent the fact that you even had the promotion, because you're like, well,
Right.
I got promoted, but I can't even enjoy my money. Like I can't even enjoy it.
Yeah. And no, that's a good point. That's a good
Yeah.
point. And I think uh, as part of enjoying it as well, I think there is this like thing that happens sometimes where maybe you've been working for towards a promotion or towards
Yeah.
getting a new job, and then you finally get it, and then you get the salary that you've kind of been working towards all this time, and it's almost like immediately we want to then start thinking about what's the next step from here.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I've got the pay rise. I've gone from 30,000 to 40,000. Now I need to work towards getting to 55,000. And it's like, hold
Yeah.
on, wait a minute. Like
We
you have
don't
just
take a moment to breathe and
literally,
just be like, yeah, I've just been through a lot to get here.
yeah.
Let me enjoy this moment and
Yeah,
celebrate
yeah.
this
Let me
moment
just clap hands to
before.
myself,
Yeah.
pat myself on the back, treat myself to some sort of like, well done, thank you,
Yeah.
celebration of sorts, just so that I can at least be like, yeah, like I genuinely worked hard for
Yeah.
this. And in this moment, I'm just celebrating the fact that we're here. And that may mean, you do something, whatever it is that you want to do, but definitely take the time to celebrate your achievement. And sometimes that may mean that, okay, I may not save the extra money in my first month because I'm
Yeah.
just going to enjoy it and celebrate. But month number 2, yeah, okay, I'm going to get serious about my savings and stuff like that. So, but 100% say, celebrate your achievement, because you don't want to always be like, be in this trap, should I say, of chasing your tail all the time,
Yeah.
of being like, I need the next pay rise, and then the next pay rise, and then the next pay rise. So just be like, yo, I'm glad that at least as of today, I've gone a step
I've got
further or
yeah.
towards what I'm trying to achieve.
And I feel like I tend to hear a lot of people here in the UK where we are say things like, oh, in the UK, you just work all the time and you
Mm,
just work so hard. And I guess it's the same as what you're saying. If you're constantly on the go, like thinking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, you literally miss life.
yeah.
Like you will miss enjoying your life. I'd like to believe there's more to our lives than just working 9 to 5s all the time and constantly thinking about the next thing and the next thing. Like sometimes we just have to stop
Mm.
and actually smell the roses and just live in the moment as well.
Yeah, so enjoy your pay rise. That's basically what we're saying, right? So the fourth thing now that I'm thinking that we actually do, and ever since we started doing this, it's actually been really powerful, and is to keep a salary tracker.
Yeah.
So essentially, for those of you who track your net worth, it's pretty much the same thing, but specifically for your salary.
Yeah.
But obviously, we don't do it every single month like we would do our net worth, or every single quarter. But every time your salary changes any amount, it could be the small incremental
Yeah.
2% or annual changes, or it could be a promotion, or a change of job, whatever the change is, whether up or down. You just basically have a tracker to say, okay, this is my salary. Say we started in 2015,
Yeah.
so okay, this was our salary in 2015, and then when it changed, this became the salary, and then next to it, kind of put the reason why, whether it's a promotion or change of jobs, whatever the case is, and then you just keep in track of your salary changes
Yeah.
over time. Now, it's such a small thing to do, but what we realized from doing it is that actually you get to see the growth that you've really had in the long term.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's easy to say, I only got a 2% pay rise this year. But actually, when you then compare where your pay is in 2022 compared to maybe 2018 or 2015, you then realize that I've actually gone up like 60% in my
Yeah.
jump of promotion and progression. But we are so focused, again, so narrow minded and focused on like today
Yeah.
or the next thing compared to the last thing, that we forget that actually 3 years ago, I was literally praying for the salary that I'm having right now,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Like, or 4 years ago, I would have been happy with half of the money that I'm making right now.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of helps you to keep things in perspective of your journey, of where you've started and where you're going and where you are today, and just kind of see the increase. So we got column 1, which is your salary, column 2, which is the percentage So column 2 is actually the reason why the salary changed. And then the third column is the percentage difference between your current salary with your previous salary. And then if you also want to do percentage differences from your current salary with your very first salary, you can do the same thing just to measure the growth that you're having in your salary, basically.
Yeah. I honestly believe that doing that has taught me gratitude,
Mm,
if anything, because like you were saying, it's so easy to forget how far you've come or overlook how far you've come. But having to go back and look at the salary tracker and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm actually grateful
yeah.
of how far I've come. Yes, I may not be where I want to be. And like life progresses. We live in a progressive life where, yes, we will want better than we have at the moment. But it's so good to go back and be like, oh my God, like this is what I was earning back then, like, and I was managing and I was surviving, and this is where I am now. It, if anything, it also gives you that push to know that you can achieve more. Like
Yeah.
if you were able to go from what you were earning 2015 to now, the sky's the limit. You could be earning double what you're at now in a couple of years, but it teaches gratitude, and that's why I'm grateful for having it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
going on to the fifth thing,
Yeah.
for me, I would probably say this is the one thing that we've actually had to learn to actually do ourselves
Mm.
to avoid the lifestyle creep. It's actually so easy to be
Very.
like, well, I earn more now,
Yeah.
so my like lifestyle expenses can just skyrocket as well.
Sure.
And
Sure.
it's a very dangerous game to play. Like
Mm.
if you start seeing yourself earning more money and then think, well, my lifestyle expenses can actually match what I'm earning, you're
Mm.
not leaving yourself with enough room to do other things and enough room to save or invest or do other stuff. So it's about finding that balance, right? But then making sure that your expenses and your lifestyle expenses are not matching what you earn.
Yeah, yeah, and I think this goes back to the first point that we
Yeah.
mentioned, because when you're going from, because this is how we got caught in this. We went from, like, as an example, from 30,000 to 40,000,
Yeah.
and you think to yourself, that's quite a big jump,
Yeah.
actually. That's an extra 10,000 a year, but then we don't again realize that what the actual number is per month. We don't realize that it's only 400. I say only, that's still a lot of money, but we don't realize that's £10,000 extra a year equals 400 after the taxes and deductions,
Yeah.
etc. But because we're thinking 10,000, we then fall into the trap of over extending
Yeah.
our lifestyle inflation. So we think, oh, I can actually afford like this car, or I can actually afford to rent out this place over the place where I rent now. And when you actually look at the numbers, you're then thinking, wait, hold on, like this is way over budget.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being honest, this is way over budget. But I think it's that it's not understanding that the real impact to your monthly pay that then causes you to maybe overemphasize how much your pay rise really is, because a £10,000 pay rise does sound like a huge jump.
Yeah.
So then you might think to yourself, well, I can afford these other things now, which in theory you probably still cannot, because the monthly increase is not as much as you might think it is.
Yeah. I feel like that whole, when you look at it from a salary perspective, right, what you earn yearly, you'll be like, oh, I'm earning 40K now. I can afford a lot. But when you look at it from a monthly perspective, it's very different, isn't it? Because I
Yeah,
feel like I've fallen in that trap before thinking, well, I've got this pay rise, and on a yearly perspective, this is what it's saying. And because it's a big number,
it
you
is.
just forget that actually it's that minus NI, minus
Yeah, yeah,
tax,
yeah.
minus student loans, minus this, that, and the other, minus your pension. And by the time you're there, you're like, oh, okay.
Plus, on top of that, if you've gone from 40 to 55,000, that's a £15,000 jump,
Yeah.
which is a big jump. But then that
But
also means you're now in the additional tax bracket.
yeah,
Sorry, the higher tax bracket, which is 40%
right.
of the amount that you earn over 50,270, somewhere there. So in actuality, you're then paying more tax.
Yeah.
So then actually that £15,000 gross becomes so much less in net after tax deductions and NI deductions, because now you've crossed over into a different tax bracket. Similar applies, if you are to go from, say, 100,000 to 180,000,
Yeah.
huge jump, absolutely huge jump. But then also equally, you've then gone over from the higher tax bracket to the additional rate tax bracket. So there's all these little things that you may not think about, because in the moment when you look at the job offer, or you look at the promotion that you've got, or you look at basically the contract that says this will be your salary, it's like these thoughts don't come to your head. You just get so excited about
the money.
Whoa, like an extra 50K, madness. And then it turns into, now I can afford this, now I can afford this. So all we're saying basically is this: when you get your pay rise, and if you've recently got a pay rise, number one, calculate what your new pay is actually going to be after deductions are taken into account, especially if you're going to be maxing out your pension and signing up to any other salary sacrifice schemes and other bits like that, to really get the real picture of the impact to your month-on-month finances. Secondly, what was the second thing again? The second thing was to pay yourself first. So that is basically taking the money the extra that you're now earning, and calculating, okay, before I get too excited, let me make sure that I have a plan in place to save this money. The third thing is to celebrate your achievement, because it is an achievement. Whichever way it goes, it's an achievement when you get a pay rise. It's a great thing, and it's a great feeling to have. So you want to definitely celebrate that. Whichever way you feel like celebrating, celebrate that. And the fourth thing is to
keep a salary tracker.
Which we do, which is great, absolutely. And we'll kind of you can create one. It's very simple in Excel. We've created it as part of our budgeting spreadsheet, but it's really great for you to check it out. For you to set it up so you can keep track of your salary as it changes over time. And then the final thing is to avoid lifestyle inflation as you go on your new salary, because it's very easily to be done.
Absolutely. So guys, if you really enjoyed what we've had to say, or you've actually found value in it, like the video. Don't forget to like it. Don't forget to click that subscribe button. But also in the comment section, let us know what things you do when you find out that you're getting a salary increase, or even when you get that new job and you're getting a higher salary than what you're at right now. Let us know in the comment section what things you actually do, how you get prepared for that new salary, how you manage your expectations of the new salary as well. We'd love to know that.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. We have had another exciting time, I believe. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see you soon.